Hello everybody. So we're on to part 3 of our consumer topic. So last week, if you remember, or 2 weeks ago, we were thinking about what is a consumer. Okay, a consumer, if you remember, is somebody who buys goods and pays for services. Remember the difference between goods are things that you buy, okay, like products, whereas services are things that you get somebody to do for you, like your plumber or a joiner or something like that. Okay, this week we're going to be thinking about methods of payment and how consumers actually pay for things. So when we are thinking of methods of payment, I wonder how many you can think of. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to try and think of as many different ways as you can to pay for different items. Okay, so I'm just going to count down from 10. Okay, you've hopefully thought of a few different ways that you can pay for things. Obviously cash, okay, coins, notes and things like that. We maybe don't use that as much these days at the moment, with COVID and things like that. We've got credit cards and debit cards, and I wonder if you know the difference between those two. A credit card is something where you're almost borrowing the money, okay, for like a larger purchase. So for example, last week, okay, I got all the windows in my house replaced, and it was quite a lot of money to do that, and I didn't have all the money in my account, so I put it onto a credit card and I'll pay that back at a later date. Whereas a debit card is I could pay for something and it takes the money directly out of my account. Okay, so you have to have the money there at the time. You've got something called a direct debit. That's like a reoccurring payment every month. So for example, my phone is on a direct debit, where each month my contract, it's £26 a month, it comes out of my account. Okay, and it's just set up for me and I don't need to do anything or worry about it. You've got PayPal, so an online way of paying for things. You've got the little contactless thing where you can tap your card onto something and you'll see it usually on your card. It's like those three little lines, okay, at the side, and that'll tell you if it's contactless. You've got gift cards, so things like gift card for Victoria Square or a certain shop. You've got things like club cards. So on my keys, I've got a few different types of ones. So I've got, it's looking a bit bashed, but I've got a club card, so I can collect points and then I can use those points to pay for something later on. Or I've got one for, it's called a Nectar card, and I've got one for the Co-op. So then I can collect these points and I can pay off something later on. I've got a check. Nobody really uses checks that often, but we usually use it for larger amounts or for paying businesses and things like that. You don't go into Tesco's and say, will you take my check? Okay. And then you've got something called a mortgage, okay, which is a massive loan that you pay off over a long period of time. Okay, it might be £200,000 for a big house, and you pay it off over 20-30 years. So there's loads of different methods of payment. Okay, all consumers use money to pay for goods and services. Okay, so you should be able to identify all those different types of methods of payment, what they mean: a credit card, a check, cash, debit card, credit card, and a voucher. Okay, so what I want you to do is write down what each of those ones, or what each of those are, and how they're used, or when you would maybe use them. Okay, like I said, you're not going to go into a grocery shop and pay using a check, but when would you use it? So I want you to watch the video below, okay, to find out a little bit more about the differences between credit cards and debit cards, and that'll highlight the differences between them. Then obviously with our contactless payment, you can use your phone, you can use your card, you can maybe even use a smartwatch if you have one. So again, watch the link that's just below, or maybe to your side, I'm not sure where it is on this video. So you should be able to watch that then. Okay, I want you to do this activity then. Okay, an interactive ATM, okay, a cash point machine simulator. So you can use a bank card to withdraw cash from any, well, most cash machines that are on the street. If you don't know how to work a cash point machine, or an ATM, okay, which actually stands for automatic teller machine, or some people call it the hole in the wall, try this fully interactive one by clicking on the link below, and you can then try to work the ATM on the screen. Okay, it's quite good actually. So there's loads of different advantages and disadvantages for each of these different types of payments. Okay, for example, cash, you don't need a PIN, but it's lost quite easily. A check, you pay for large amounts, but people can forge them. I could forge your signature, or somebody could forge and write on Mr. Ritchie on it and pay £3,000 to someone. A debit card, you have to have the money in your account, but if you don't have the money, then you can't pay for it. Whereas a credit card, you don't have to have the money, so you can pay for something in advance, like a big holiday. But it means if you don't pay that off at another time, they'll maybe add money on called interest in the end. A direct debit, it goes automatically out of your account each month. I don't need to worry about paying off my phone because it does it automatically. But what happens if I forget to cancel that? Then I'm paying all that money for months and months. And a gift voucher, of course, you can use in a wide range of shops, but sometimes they have an expiry date on them and they will maybe run out of time and you'll lose the money on that. So to do, what I want you to think about is to consider all the different methods of payment, okay, the advantages and disadvantages of each, and use your knowledge to complete this table. Okay, for those 5 different items, what method of payment or methods of payment would you use, and why would you use those ones? Okay, so there's a few different things that I want you to have a go at, a few different links that I want you to click on and watch, and then that task at the end. Okay, if you have any questions, sure, let me know and I will get back to you as soon as I can.